If you don't think the term cockpit is offensive, you might be a bigot. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about certain terms in aviation that could be offensive to some people, like the LGBTQs, minorities, etc. Now, this is according to a union that represents 70,000 commercial pilots. Now, before we get into the elephant in the room, I want to back up a little bit. This whole kerfuffle reminds me of a thing I covered a few years ago when they were talking about certain terms in housing, like master bedroom being offensive. Then they were trying to say certain terms in technology, like a master-slave relationship between certain pieces of technology. Okay, like you have one thing that is the main, something else that comes after it, master-slave. Or you might be a master plumber, a master electrician, a master at whatever your craft is. Those words were deemed offensive by many people, to the point now where if you're looking at new real estate or even older real estate that's on the market, they won't use terms like master bedroom. They'll say main bedroom or just bedroom. All right. But when you look at the floor plan, you'll be able to tell which one's the master. Personally, I never got offended at that term. It's not that deep. They want to talk about slavery and it's bringing up old feelings. I never once thought while in my master bedroom about slavery. It's not that deep. People are just bored and want to find ways to get offensive. Now, we have an article and a video to get into. Let's look at the article right quick. Over on Breitbart, you see what it says right here. Pilots Union suggests changing cockpit to flight deck for inclusivity. Now, I don't know what kind of freaky, bored people were behind this decision. When you're on the plane, have you ever in your life thought, the word cockpit is a little bit offensive? It must be a bunch of dudes in there, all this, that, and the third. Have you ever thought that in your life? Unless you just got a freaky mind. I mean, what in the world's going on? Can we just stop being so freaky and just be regular people? But anyway, let's see what else they say is offensive to some people. Not to us, not to normies that, use our brains for more than just getting offended at every little thing and finding ways to be upset. Normies are not going to be offended, but let's see what some of these strange fellows and fellettes are getting offended by. So this was published in 2021. So that's probably right around the time all the other stuff came out. Master bedroom, master slave, all this and that. So they want pilots to refrain from using certain masculine words such as guys, airmen, manpower, and cockpit. Now understand, again, I'm not offended at any of these terms. I think it should be left alone. But if you want to say a certain term is masculine, like air, men, manpower, I see what you're saying because it has the word man in it. Again, I'm not offended at these terms. They should be left alone. But I see where you say it's masculine. But cockpit, really? Is that what we're going to say? We're going to say that that's a masculine term? Because why? Because of that word at the beginning? We're going to make that be a freaky word for real? I mean, some people are just strange. They really are strange. Now, it says, while the word cockpit dates back to the 1900s, it has been and may be used in a derogatory way to exclude women from the piloting profession. Many women have heard a variation of it called cockpit for a reason by male pilots, suggesting that women do not belong in the piloting profession. The intent behind the use of the word is important. So now they want to say flight deck rather than cockpit. All right. I mean, this is really crazy. And then they said that the word cockpit first appeared, I guess, in language as an arena for cockfights, meaning birds fighting. Not any kind of other thing you may think about, some of y'all freaky people out there. I mean, good grief. Can we just not have everything be about sex and all that kind of stuff? Let's get a clear mind, shall we? All right. So here's a video from Newsmax. Let's check it out.
80,000 airlines.
All right, let's start from the top, get some sound. And there we go.
The union for nearly 80,000 airline pilots worldwide wants to phase out terms it considers offensive to women and the queer community. It's in its inclusive language reference guide.
So, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, mother, father, wait a minute. It says this may inadvertently ignore different family structures such as grandparents, caregivers, same-sex parents, step-parents, families with adopted members, and more. So dumb. So dumb. And then, ladies and gentlemen, whatnot, it says these terms may inadvertently exclude individuals who do not identify as male or female.
That's right. The Airline Pilots Association International, the union, suggests promoting inclusion and equity, like using preferred pronouns, avoiding generalizations such as ladies and gentlemen, or mother and father. The guide also urges members to avoid masculine generalizations like cockpit and instead using flight deck. And God forbid you say manpower. The union wants you to replace that word with staff, workforce, or even human power. I mean, I'm just like nauseated, like listening to what these people are doing. We have planes like falling out of the air.
Yeah, for real, right? That's the main thing, because look, I don't care what you call it. Like, can we just get from point A to point B without having stuff fly off the plane, doors flying off, wheels flying off, the plane catch on fire, all this and that and the third? Okay, how about that? Let's focus on that. Let's focus on some of these quality control issues with Boeing and Spirit Aerosystems. Let's focus on some of these whistleblowers who then popped up self-deleted. Let's focus on that rather than terms like cockpit. I mean, really? And then also, before they continue, when I was a kid, it was always drilled into me. Say, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. I'm talking about to the point where it was almost excessive. So now I can't help but say that all the time. It's burned into my mind. But now I'm being told that maybe that's an uninclusive way to refer to people as sir and ma'am, because although somebody might be looking like Mike Tyson in 1987, when I look at him on the street, they may not identify as a male. So if I was to say yes, sir, to that person, they might get offended.
You know, come on. And this is what we're worried about?
All right, no, this was only a matter of time. Virgin Airlines kicked it off by...
Virgin Airlines? What are you saying?
Oh, yeah, right, yeah, Virgin. Like, what do you mean virgin? That's steeped in white supremacy, the idea of a virgin. And you know what? I have heard that argument. So now they might want to change that too. See, with these people, there's never going to be enough. It's always going to be the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. They never stop. And when you start changing language, that's what you do when you conquer a people. You change the language. That's like changing Constantinople to Istanbul, but that's a little bit too deep right now, so I digress.
Hopefully no kids are watching. It's past everyone's bedtime.
Well, remember they did the gender neutral uniforms that flight attendants can wear.
Yep.
And, you know, pretty much every major media outlet now has a style guide that bans gendered language, including terms like man-made or mankind or manhole. This is just going to infect every part of American society, and we're all just going to have to get on board.
But we have...
And the craziest part is when they try to do this to the Spanish language. Like, I'm learning Spanish right now, Duolingo. Shout out Duolingo. And everything is masculine and feminine. Everything. And if you don't get the masculine or feminine right, then you're just wrong on the lesson. So how are they really going to try to make that kind of language be gender neutral? How can they really do that? You know, the whole Latinx thing. It makes no sense. Latina, Latino. It's literally male or female. It's easy to say. Why would you confuse things because you're offended? I think it's just a big grift.
I've seen a bit of people moving away, like even academic institutions moving away from DEI and this type of approach. Why are the airline pilots so caught up in this world?
I don't know, baby. How's your flight deck? I think all of this is just captured by the same consultants, the same business consultants,
yes,
finance consultants that get into the boardrooms of every major corporation, every major union, every major entity. You'll see it's the same three kind of comms outfits that are telling them this is how you have to do this, and it's always lagging. They're going to keep doing this until they realize the American people are ready to barf about all of this. Even gay people are ready to barf about this. People in protected classes like, enough is enough of this insanity. We go all over the world and do these CPACs, and the one response we get from people all over in all these continents is, what the hell is wrong with your country?
Yeah.
Like, you're the only country doing all of this.
We saw, Daniel, that the Boeing CEO, the former Boeing CEO, testified in front of Congress and apologized because of all the problems that they've had with their airplanes.
And that should be the main thing right there. I'll put a pause on it right there. But that should be the main thing. All the mechanical problems with these airplanes that we've been seeing over the past few days, weeks, months, maybe even years, that should be the focus rather than the word cockpit somehow being offensive. But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to everybody out there who's just a regular person, a normie like myself, who doesn't believe in all this stuff, who doesn't really care. Listen, I still call my master bedroom a master bedroom. I paid a lot of money for it. I had it designed. Why can't I call it what I want to call it? Am I going to get offended? Like, am I thinking about slavery? Like, the things of the past that were damaging to many people are not in my constant mind right now. It's just not a thing. I focus on the good things. I focus on living in America, taking advantage of my birthright citizenship here and being successful, being prosperous. I'm not so focused on things of the past that were damaging, offensive, or anything else of the sort. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on some of these words that could be offensive? Are you offended at the term cockpit? How about manpower? How about ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I am not offended at the least. It's silly to me. I mean, how freaky and bored must you be to make this be an issue? Again, let's focus on keeping these planes in the sky and getting everybody from point A to point B without the door flying off mid-flight, without panels falling off, wheels, fires emerging. Let's focus on that rather than these terms that have been with us for a very long time and really shouldn't be changed. Because all you're going to end up doing is spending a bunch of money to replace manuals and training, and it's just unnecessary. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.